Bruce Hill, new skills, new you. And this one's for my coaches, consultants. We're going to ask better questions. We're going to ask better questions. I'm working on a full-length training for this one, and we will help create the best questions for your process and for your clients. The concept is like this. It's very simple. Something I learned from sales, actually. I'm telling you, one new skill will change your life. When I was most effective at selling, it wasn't because I spoke well, I was friendly, not even knowledgeable. When I was most effective at selling is when I was the most effective at listening. Some of you already know this. It'll be a refresher. What I want to emphasize when I talk about transforming lives by teaching them sales skills, I don't want to teach you to be a salesperson. It's not the goal. There's plenty of sales trainers out there. And while I do corporate sales training, my biggest focus is transforming you, because that transforms your business. Sales skills is something that makes a lot of people uncomfortable. And what's really exciting, that's where you grow. That's where you start to evolve. That's where you start to transform. That's where that one new skill is beginning to change your life, is when it's uncomfortable. I chose sales skills because I have the most experience and knowledge in it. But it's not because I'm the most, award-winning salesperson. I have some success, right? I want to operate in integrity, but that's not the aim or goal from me to you, to just teach you how to take people's money. What I want to accomplish is all the skills I've learned as a sales professional: discipline, confidence, learning, listening, and more. I want to take those skills and transfer them to you so you could transform your life, your business. And when we talk about asking better questions, that's really a fundamental practice of active listening. That's a fundamental step in the listening process. This is when we're truly listening to understand, not listening to respond. This is when we're truly engaged in connecting with what the person intends to say, not what we interpret them to say. Listening may be the most effective sales tool, and this isn't even to sell anyone anything. What happens is you start to connect with people, how they think and feel. So teaching you to listen can transform your whole life, whether you're a parent, if you're dating, your job, whether you're supervising or you have a supervisor. And of course, for my coaches and consultants, hearing yes more often, getting those clients to move forward to your mastermind, to your community or coaching program. So let's jump right in. There's two types of questions. There's open-ended questions and there's closed-ended questions. Open-ended questions start with who, what, where, when, why, and how. Closed-ended questions can be answered with a yes or a no. I generally avoid closed-ended questions unless I feel I completely understand what it is they're going through. Unless I completely understand where they want to get to. Unless I completely understand what's stopping them from making progress. Unless I completely understand what the problem is and have confidence I have the skills and tools to solve that problem. Then I gain confirmation by asking, hey, if I can help you accomplish X by doing Y without the pain of Z, does it make sense we work together? Yes or no? Absolutely. If they say no, you go back to the open-ended questions until we feel like we've reached an understanding. Think of it like digging. Think of it like searching for gold. And you already have the map, because if you're attracting your ideal client and you're talking to the people whose problems you solve, there's really no reason that they shouldn't work with you. At least not because of you. They may have some internal reasons they decide not to. That's fine. We'll talk about that in a moment. But it's so important that you don't become the barrier to their success. You should be facilitating their growth. You should be facilitating their success. You should be facilitating their evolution. So how do we do that? We ask questions. One of my favorite questions is, why did you decide to book this call today? Write that one down. Actually, I should write that one down. And we'll have a list of questions to ask. There we go. I want to know that we're headed in the same direction. This is so important because I used to work for a cell phone store. And very often people would come in to buy cable television subscriptions. We did not sell cable television. We sold cell phones. And maybe there's some store somewhere that does both. We were not one of those stores. All right. So here's my first question. Why did you decide to schedule this call? Hey, Bruce, I saw that you taught sales skills, and it's really an area of improvement for me. Okay, great. My next question is similar, but it's an important distinction. I'll say, what do you want to accomplish at the end of this call, or by the end of this call? I'll say, what do you want to accomplish by the end of this call? Or what needs to happen in this conversation so this phone call, Zoom call, meeting is a success? I'm gonna write that one down. Now, as you ask these questions, you also want to set the expectation. So you say, hey, Bruce, you schedule this call to accomplish X. In order for this conversation to be successful, we need to go through ABC. We on the same page so far? Confirmation. Yes, absolutely we are. Great. Here's what I'm going to do. I have a few more questions to understand what's going on in your life and business. And then I will make the recommendation that best fits your need. To help make this a valuable conversation, please be as transparent as possible. Do we have a deal? Confirmation. Sounds good, Bruce. Let's rock and roll. Okay, great. Now we ask some more open-ended questions. Tell me a little bit about. It's technically not a question for all my grammar snobs, but it's open-ended. I want them to put into their own words what it is they're going through. What's going on? What's on your mind? And people will tell you if you just ask. And so as you listen, you should be listening for pain points. And you may be familiar with that term if you've been coaching for a while, if you're a consultant. You want to listen for a pain point. What's bothering them? And if you don't hear any, guess what? We ask. You'll say, hey, why is that a problem? What upsets you most about that? Okay. What we want to create is a life, a present tense, a scenario that's uncomfortable. I don't want people that are content. I'm happy for them, but I solve problems. So if you don't have any problems, who do you know that could use my services? I'm going to ask her for a referral. I want to hear someone that's upset. My business isn't growing because I keep giving away products and services. I am ashamed to raise my prices. I'm scared to ask for the money. I am hesitant to send out the invoice. I want that problem. I think there's a reel or TikTok, I don't know. And he says, I don't want peace. I want problems. That's what I'm here for. I solve problems. Sales is a service. That's why I teach sales skills. I really am teaching you to look for and solve problems, to look for problems and find solutions. How do we find those problems? We ask questions. The key to unlock your business is to ask better questions, because you'll find more problems. The more problems you find that you can solve, the more clients you'll create, the more success stories you'll create. But you can't get there because you talk too much. You're telling them about you instead of asking about them. Stop doing that. Ask more questions. So what do we have so far? Why did you decide to schedule this call? What needs to happen for this call to be a success? Tell me a little bit about ... And then say, why is that a problem? What is it that bothers you about that? How long has this been happening? I love that question, because if it happened last week, it moved quickly. If it's been happening for years, one of two things can happen. You can say, hey, 5 years is a long time to be dealing with that. Are you tired of it yet? Now, this, again, is a confirmation. I want to confirm that you're here for a solution. I want to know that you are looking to get rid of your problem. If you say, oh, it's not that bad. I don't mind walking backwards everywhere I go. Hey, that's great. Sounds like you are right where you want to be. Do you know anyone else that's not happy with where they are, is not on their way to where they want to be? I'm going to ask for the referral. So I want to ask them, how long has this been an issue? Yo, it's been like this for years. Then I'm going to say, well, what have you tried so far? I need to know how serious they are about solving this problem. One of two things will happen. They'll say, man, listen, I've tried X, Y, and Z, 1, 2, 3, and ABC, and I'm fed up. I don't know what else to do. This is going to be important, because if you were going to do one of those things, you need to figure out if it didn't work for them or if they didn't know what they were doing. But I also want to know how serious they are about solving that problem. And say, hey, man, that sounds awful. What have you tried so far? I'll just live with it. I'll just deal with it. I want people who are uncomfortable, because that's where we can start to change. That's where we can start to evolve. That's where we can start to grow. So what have you tried so far? And make sure you don't duplicate results. It lets you know where to begin. Maybe they want to write a book. The problem you solve is helping authors create a profitable book. Shout out to Vision Avant. But they've already written the book. Okay, so now we have a different problem. Problem isn't writing. Well, how many copies have you sold? Man, I've sold 22 copies. Aha. Now we're getting close to the problem. So then I'll ask them, hey, 22 books. How do you feel about that number? Right? That's kind of similar to the what bothers you about that. If they're like, oh man, this is excited, 22 books, I'm ready to retire. Probably not what they're going to say. They'll say, that's not enough, Bruce. Can't take no vacations on 22 books. Really? Yeah. Okay. What have you tried so far to sell some books? So I posted it on Facebook, posted it on LinkedIn. I don't know what else to do. That's the magic words. That's someone that's uncomfortable. That's someone that's willing to make a change. That's someone who's willing to invest. But you can't get there if you don't ask the questions. So we asked them, what have you tried so far? They're going to tell you something or nothing. Say, okay. Are you content if things don't change? This is confirmation. I want to know, are they willing to make an effort to change? If they just need some help, or if they're unwilling to move forward, if they're unwilling to take action. So I'll say, are you content if things stay the same? Or if you like this one better, I'll say, hey, if nothing ever changed in your life, how would you feel? Actually, I kind of like that one better. Nothing ever changes in your life or business. I want to hear some pain. I want to hear annoyed. I want to hear frustrated. I want to hear upset. I want to hear tired. I want to hear angry. I don't want to hear complacency. I don't want to hear apathy. I want people that are uncomfortable. I want people who recognize they have a problem and they no longer want that problem. That's what I do. I'm a coach. I solve problems. I cannot help people who don't have problems. I want to hear someone that's like, Bruce, I can't do this for any more years. I don't want to do this for another month. I don't want to do this for another week. I don't want to do this for another day. Okay. Let's fast forward to the future. Let's go on a journey. We solve this problem. What does your life look like? Okay. When we solve this problem, kind of need a Mad Libs, right? When we insert desired result, desired outcome, and then we'll say, what does your blank life or business look like? Question mark. Why is this important? Because if they don't have a picture of what they want the future to look like, I need to paint it for them. I need to show them what's possible. Please make a note of that. Show them what's possible. They might already have a picture. And what happens is oh man, Bruce, if I didn't have to walk backwards anymore, I could get appointments on time. I wouldn't trip over things. People would make fun of me. Life would be so much better if I didn't have to walk backwards. And you may laugh, that's a silly example, but there's some problems that people have, and that version of them, that identity, cannot solve that. They need some help. That's where you come in. That's why I said sales is service. I serve people, and they're happy to spend their time, energy, and money. I don't have to convince them. I just need to understand their problem and make it very clear what the solution is. So I'll say, wow, that sounds a lot better. Are you a punctual person? Yeah, I love getting places on time. Okay. Do you like getting made fun of? I mean, I don't. I just want to double check. No, it hurts my feelings. Yeah, I understand. And then when you trip and fall from walking backwards, that probably hurts physically. They're like, oh man, I got bumps and bruises. I got my new clothes. Okay. So if we can help you stop walking backwards and start walking forwards, you can get places on time. You stop getting injured. You stop getting your feelings hurt. You'd be a happier person. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, I want to make a suggestion. Do you mind if I have an idea? May I share it with you? Again, it's confirmation. They'll say, yeah, what do you got, Bruce? I said, well, listen, I've got a 10-step program on walking forward. And in this program, I'm going to guide you step by step on how to change the direction of your walk. By the end of the program, you'll be able to walk and run forward without tripping or falling. Does that sound like what you were looking for? I want confirmation again. Oh my God, Bruce, that's exactly what I've been looking for. How do I sign up? And what's very interesting, if you paint a picture of where they are and you have a clear picture of where they want to go, when you give them the bridge, the connection, the solution, if they're truly uncomfortable with where they are, they're going to ask for your help to change it. You shouldn't have to convince them that they should work with you. You're either asking the wrong questions or you're asking the wrong person. If someone's like, you know what, Bruce? I don't know if I want to walk forwards. I've been walking backwards my whole life. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, a lot of my clients used to walk backwards. And they're like you. That's how they've been doing their whole life. But now that they can walk forward, they get to places faster. They almost never trip and fall. And no one makes fun of them. And that's what I want for you. But what do you want? I say, well, you know what, Bruce, that'd be nice. But this is where you want to listen. Okay, pause. So remember I said confirmation. And if they give you any pushback, we go back to open-ended questions. So I said, well, what do you want? That's opening question. I want to understand, here's the solution, but you're like, nah, they're uncertain. Uncertainty either comes from, there's a couple of things, but the two main ones that I focus on is they're not confident that you can solve the problem, or they're really not that upset about the problem. Those are very dangerous people because they don't finish programs. They don't show up on time. They miss meetings. And then they'll be like, this girl sucks. She's terrible, a waste of money. But they didn't do the work. You got to watch out for those people. This is why we don't convince people. We end up convincing ourselves a headache. So they'll say, you know what, Bruce, that does sound nice, but I don't know if I can afford it. Well, I haven't even told you the price yet. How much would that be worth to you? 10,000, 8,000, 6,000? Listen, this 10-week program is just confidently say your price and wait. And I said, really? Okay, let's do it. Or they might ask you, hey, can we break that up in a piece? Sure, happy to. Now, they may say, I don't know, Bruce, I just don't think this is going to work for me. You do one or two things here. You say, hey, listen, thank you for being honest with me about how you feel. We haven't worked together yet. We haven't had the pleasure working together. So I can get, you might be a little hesitant. Here's what I want to do. This is a great time to share some testimonials. Whether I like videos, I'm getting better at collecting those for my business. Or you can tell them a story. Say, hey, listen, I used to walk backwards and I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to walk forwards. And I messed it up. I was going sideways. I tried to walk with my hands. Nothing I did was working. And I finally figured it out. It took me way too long. I don't want it to take you that long. I don't want you to walk another step backwards. I want to help you move forward. So here's what I'm going to do to help. Let's go ahead and this is where an ebook or a smaller course can get started. So, hey, this is going to give you a starting point. And if you feel like this is the right solution for you, I'm going to reach back out to you in 48 hours and you can make a decision then. How does that sound? Sounds good. All right, great. Well, let me make sure I got your email. So this is so important to have bite-sized pieces for people because sometimes that change can be very, very, I'm going to go, what's past uncomfortable, almost painful, right? They've been doing something this way, whether it's been with their job, whether it's been a business practice, whether it's been walking backwards, right? So it's a lot of uncertainty and even fear around changing what they've been doing. Even though they're uncomfortable with what they've been doing, it's familiar. That's a conversation for another day. So we have to ask enough questions to understand how bad it really bothers them. We have to ask enough questions to understand what do they want their life to look like, and then confidently present a solution. That's where New Skills, New You comes in. We help coaches and consultants get more clients to say yes by teaching them sales skills. So I won't promise you everyone will say yes. But if you use these questions, and I'm going to add some more to the list, and you use them every time and listen to the answers, I'm confident you'll start hearing yes more often. Now, if you need some more help, the link's in the bio for consultation where we can help you ask better questions. I'm Bruce Hill, New Skills, New You, and I hope that helps you grow your business. Cheers.